AI is consuming our world, but you don't have to let it consume your mind, and you especially should not let it steal and twist your creativity. We as human beings have a gift that many of us take for granted. To create in any capacity is one of the most fulfilling actions we can take, and it's something unique to us as a species. Every modern luxury we have was envisioned, worked towards, and eventually realized by the dreamers and visionaries who came before us through the creative process. This has been at the heart of human expression and development for thousands of years, and although our tools have evolved, the fact that humans themselves were the source of creation remained. With the rapid introduction of AI, we find ourselves in a moment that tests our values. The convenience of AI is difficult to argue against, as it undeniably streamlines certain tasks. However, convenience is not everything, and certainly is not the point of creation. We do create things to make our lives easier in other aspects of life, such as survival and health. But in what we consider creative pursuits, such as painting, music, and writing, we are doing both ourselves and our potential creations a disservice in taking a shortcut through AI. This is because AI cannot truly create, so it will only be able to produce a half-baked version of what your original idea and impulse could have evolved into if you had done it yourself. Many people turn to AI because they believe themselves to be incapable of making a finished product that lives up to the ideas in their heads. They find themselves lacking the technical skill or the level of ability to match their ambitions, but want to create anyway. What they don't understand is that this urge to create will lead them to grow into someone who is capable of realizing these ambitions if they actually put in the effort and try. They can learn the skills, they can figure it out, and in the many attempts and iterations that maybe don't reach the end point, they'll find that the real beauty of creation is not that end goal. It is the act of creating itself. Because when we create, we are expressing ourselves, whether it looks conventionally beautiful and refined or not. Art, at the end of the day, is expression. It is the translations of our feelings, our desires, and the questions we ask into something that speaks to us and oftentimes speaks to others as well. Art is moving because we are able to feel the artist's intentions or doubts, their messages and their questions, whatever piece of their humanity that fueled the creation of that art. It allows us to connect on a deeper level, inspires and stimulates our hearts and minds, perhaps even leading us to create. AI cannot express itself because it has nothing to express, which means any attempt it makes to produce art is inherently hollow and meaningless. Anytime you let AI attempt to create for you, you're giving away the autonomy and fulfillment to a machine, a combination of programs that cannot truly have an original thought or experience. The AI does not create. It simply regurgitates a combination of previous inputs it has received in an attempt to fulfill whatever prompt it is given. Art is the expression of our souls, and as AI has no soul, it cannot create art. This is why it is so essential that we brace ourselves against the spread of AI. We must reject it in the art world. Some would argue that it is just a tool like a pencil or even an iPad or a laptop, but the difference is that AI robs you of the creative process. The pencil gives you a way to translate your art from within you onto the paper. The iPad or the laptop allows you to translate it to a number of digital forms. The AI produces a coagulation of previous works and sources that it has devoured, and then hopes you will accept it as close enough to what you see in your head to be passable. The AI is not helping you to translate your soul into another medium, as it cannot truly connect you to the result without inputting its own data into the product. You are not only losing your originality through the AI's processing, you are allowing your ideas to be tainted by outside influences that have been used to train the AI. Handing over your creativity to a robot and hoping it will guess correctly defeats the entire point of creating art, and indeed, makes you no artist at all. Art has a profound effect not only on those who view it and relate to it, but on its creator as well. Perhaps the creator is the one most directly impacted, as they have gone through the labor of bringing something into existence that never before existed. The act of creation is so intrinsically tied to our humanity, which is why the fact that an increasing amount of people are now delegating it to a heartless machine is so terrifying and tragic. So many people are so obsessed with the finished product that they are willing to discard the processes and transformations that give art value in the first place. I think that the obsession with AI is likely caused by our growing emphasis on convenience and swift results in society. So much of what we are taught is that we should always make more and do it as fast as possible. This quality over quantity mindset leads to the AI slop that people try to pass as real art. In my opinion, this leads us to miss the point of art altogether. Art is not something that we make primarily for profit, as we have made it since the dawn of time before money even existed. It isn't some menial task to be delegated to machinery so that we can do other things. Art is what we do when we are free from that type of task, when the work is done and we are free to express ourselves. It's often an activity of leisure, and although I believe it is incredibly important to our species, it isn't the first thing most people think of when they think of work, nor is it the first choice of activities that most people would give up if they had the chance. Of all the tasks to give away, I don't understand why anyone would do it for art. Some would say it's because art is tied to business and marketing these days, and that's true. But it still doesn't excuse taking shortcuts and losing our originality. When someone is more focused on the money they could make than the actual thing that they're making, they often burn out during their attempts to create and never reach the end. This is actually a good thing, because their focus was not in the art itself, so they would likely have been unable to create what they envisioned anyway. However, when someone finds themselves caring more about their creation, they will tap into that beautiful well of energy and creative power that we all have within us. Even if someone goes into a project with the hopes of making money, the creative process no doubt would bring that energy out of them along the way. This flow state, this changing of focus that sparks within an artist as they toil away at a project, is exactly why we must go through the creative process ourselves. We exude a passion unlike anything else when we allow ourselves to do this. AI is passionless and negates this growth as it disrupts the core of the creative process in favor of convenience. So the question becomes, what can we do against the onslaught of AI? The answer is rather simple. We must follow our creative impulses and continue to make art. We must hone our minds, our souls, and allow ourselves a chance to really see what we're capable of. Even if you feel like the worst artist on the planet, I promise you what you produce will be more authentic and meaningful than any AI art. Even the most crude drawing can spark more emotion and connection than a seemingly more polished image that was simply generated. Your art is something only you can create. It inherently has value because you went through the act of bringing it into existence. The amazing thing about allowing yourself to be an artist is that it is an experience that will become unique to you. No two creators are exactly the same, which means that everything you do is uniquely yours. You have the power to make anything you dream of. I urge you to not give that power away to a machine. Your art is too valuable to be tossed aside in favor of convenience. Go out and express yourself in whatever form your art manifests itself as. Create your art and grow not only as an artist, but as a person.